Hello, sorcerers! My name is Chance, welcome to my Spellbook, and thank you so much for taking a look at the 5th episode of our Metamagic series. Today we're going to be going over Heightened spell, which is one that I personally get a decent amount of use out of with my builds. That being said, it is one of the most expensive metamagics out there, at least certainly in its base form. Twin spell can get a little bit higher up based on spell level, but this one is the highest expenditure, at least currently in 5e in its base form. However, before we dive into its description and flesh it out, if you'd like to check out the full Metamagic playlist, please click on that little eye icon up above there, or wait until the end of the video and click on the end card. In any case, let's take a moment and dive into Heightened Spell's description. When you cast a spell that forces a creature to make a saving throw to resist its effects, you can spend 3 sorcery points to give one target of the spell disadvantage on its first saving throw made against the spell. Essentially, cast a spell that requires a save, imply this metamagic, and then they get to roll with disadvantage. It only affects one target, and that really is the biggest drawback of this spell. However, seeing as how there's no restriction on spell level, it does scale up with each spell slot you gain, which is really nice. Now let's move on to my personal thoughts regarding Heightened spell. So, to those of you that are unfamiliar with my playstyle, I usually play a Coffee Lock, which is a Warlock Sorcerer hybrid, and I usually play it to more of a support role. Support means a lot of things in D&D, but when you really boil it down, it means making things easier for the other members of your party to achieve a goal. And it just so happens that some of the best support spells in the game require an enemy to make a save. And if they fail the save, it can drastically turn the tide of battle in your favor. So this is one layer of added protection to guarantee that happens. In terms of spells that this is really applicable for, the Hold Monster, Banishment, Dominate Monster, Polymorph, all those spells, you're really going to see a lot of bang for your buck out of it. That being said, it is rather costly, coming in at 3 sorcery points. With my Coffee Lock build, I don't really have to worry about that too much. However, if you're in a game that doesn't allow multi-classing or exploits of that nature, then you might be better off with one of the other metamagics until you have enough sorcery points that you're willing to risk, and then go for this as a direct result. That being said, however, it does scale, so there's no real bad point to take this as long as you feel like you can risk losing the points, and of course risk taking this as an option, which should be relatively doable, especially if you're using a lot of those support spells, as I mentioned earlier. In any case, let me know what you think of Heightened Spell down beneath in the comments section. Be sure to mention any thoughts, questions, comments, or concerns you have regarding it. That being said, if you'd like to gain access to a free one-shot, please go over to theguildhall.com and use the code WELCOME. And as always, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and of course, happy adventuring.